Good morning, welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the headgear and the coat, it's still quite cold outside, but I have been out on the Bonneville. I was out yesterday actually, 30 odd mile yesterday, out last week, and last week when I used it I had to use the sat nav on my phone on this mount here. Now I did a video three months ago, back in October last year, about all the modifications I've done to the bike, and one of them was this phone mount, which I use, which is great. No problems with this. I use it for me navigation, and I used, at the time I covered this, which is a USB port, which is quite a big thing, and it was mounted down here. It was big. It also lit up when it was live, which was all the time basically, and me being paranoid about battery power, I wasn't happy with it, so I took it off. Now when I was out the other day, when I set off, my phone was on about 50%. Whether it's the cold weather, I don't know, but once I'd had the sat nav on for 45 minutes or so, I'm down to about 20%, 25%. So I'm thinking I'm going to put another USB on, but that big thing, don't like it. Too big, too obtrusive. So we've got this. It's an Oxford product, which they're well known for their accessories, and it's quite small. It's very small, in fact. Those are the connections for the battery. There's an inline fuse. That is the USB port. That's the only thing that's visible on the bike. And what I plan to do, I'll show you in a minute. It comes with a little piece of scotch, a double-sided scotch pad. I can fix it right down there, just underneath the speedometer, and it will be virtually out of sight until I need it. The reason that's so small is because that is the actual charge. That's the transformer or DC converter, if you like, that it's not built into that. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is fitting that. So first of all, we'll get the seat off and partially remove the tank. I'll show you that in a moment, and we'll get on with that. If I can just remind you again, if you're new to the channel and you'd consider subscribing, be very grateful for that. Much appreciated. As I say, I have covered a USB in the past on this machine. If you go back through the content of the channel, you'll see it. I think it was October the 1st of last year. That video has got a lot of views, 7,000 to 8,000, which is a lot for me. So if you wouldn't consider looking at that, if you're watching this because you've got a Bonneville or you're interested in the Bonnevilles, get back and have a look. Right, we'll get on with this now. So, seats off. Forgive me if I keep rubbing my hands. It is cold today. Seats off. Two little bolts here. Undo the rear mounting of the tank. One. Two. So the back of the tank will now lift. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to take the tank off completely. I'm going to lift it and turn it to allow access to the top tube of the frame down there where the main wiring harness is. So first thing to do, you won't be able to see it properly, but underneath here there is a little breather or overflow pipe. I'll just pull that off. There we go, that's off. Right, we've got some soft cloths here to balance the tank on. What we're going to do is lift it and turn it and balance it on here. It saves on doing all the disconnecting the self-sealing fuel line and the fuel pump connections and everything. So we just lift it at the back, ease it back This is going to be quite heavy. I've just filled up with fuel. Ease it back off there. Turn it round. There we go. That's fairly... oh, I don't need the bungee cord. For what I'm going to be doing, that's not going anywhere. So, usually you put a bungee cord down there. Maybe it's because it's full of fuel. I don't know. It's not leaking. But that'll be stable enough. And you can see we've got access to the cables down there now. Right, what I've done is I've threaded that up through... There's the USB port there. I've threaded that up through the existing cable tidy, if you like, the cable wire cable tidy, and this is where I've lost it again. There it is. So, there it is. They do supply a little Scotch connector, pad, double-sided pad. So that's where it's going to be situated there. So threaded that up through there. Come around the other side. I'll come down. There's the cable there. There's the little DC converter sat underneath the frame there. I've just cable tied it to the existing harness in there. We've got another wire cable tidy with the rest of the cables. Little cable tidy there just above the fuel injectors, and that will then go up inside and get down in towards the battery area underneath the seat. So we'll just pop the tank back on now, and we'll thread the wires through to the area they're needed. So what I was hoping to do was feed, I've got the side panel off now, feed that under there where the main harness goes and up into the battery area here, but there's absolutely no way that is going to go through there. No. Plus the fuse holder's got to come through as well, so I think what I'll do is pin it to the harness there and go in from this side. That's on top of the airbox. I'll get a cable tie and just cable tie it onto there, and then poke that up, and we're into the battery box area there. So I'll just get a cable tie. There we are. Put that through there. It's very fiddly when you get cold hands and tiny little cable ties, but sure you can't. There we go. Right, that's that. Now if we poke that up through there, there's the fuse holder. Pop that under there. And there we are into the area we need it basically. So just snip the end of that off. Make sure none of the wires are, yeah, that's it. Job done, fixed tricks, as they say. Right, we'll move to the other side now. Right, so the two bolts back in the tank. I've fed the, there's the live feed, and it's built-in inline fuse, little 2 amp fuse holder. That is obviously going to go to the positive terminal of the battery. Now the earth terminal, or the negative terminal, would normally go to that side of the battery, but I have plans. I have other plans. Now this little device, this little USB port, it's supposed to take no drain from the battery when not in use. Now I could, same with the other one that I mentioned earlier on in the video, the big thing. You can use a switched live, but on these machines, on these Bonnevilles, it's not easy. It might be if you're an auto electrician, but for an amateur such as myself, it's not easy. The main thing that people do use is open the headlight up, and the little pilot light or parking lamp, it's a yellow cable, a yellow wire and a black wire. They're easy enough to identify. You can cut into the take a feed from there, from the little parking light, which is not live until the ignition's on or until you've turned the key to the parking position. But it's a small wire. It's very small, very small connectors. And I'm not a great fan of these Scotch block connector things that cut into the cable. And to be honest, I wouldn't have got that little box into the headlight shell. It's such a small hole in there. It's such a small grommet. I wouldn't have got all the gubbins in the headlight. If I had, I'd have had to coil all the cables up, and there's no room in that headlight. There's enough wiring in there as it is. So the other thing is, people said they've used the brake light switch, but the machine is 16 years old. I don't want to start cutting into cables, so I don't think I need to. And as this little unit's supposed to, I think, what do they call it, a back drain or something, it's 0.4 milliamps or whatever, but it could still put a drain on the battery. So what I've decided to do, as I say, that's the live. I've fed the earth into there. I've made up another small earth cable, which I'm going to connect onto this, which is the brake master. So I know that goes to earth. I've tested it. I've tested it with the, I'm going to put a male bullet on there and a female bullet on there. And for, I don't know, a lot of the time, I'm not going to need that plug. But when I decide I do need it, it's just a simple case of whipping the side panel off, literally 20 seconds, join the two together, and we've got a complete circuit. You might say I'm paranoid, and I probably am. I'm at an age now where I remember batteries didn't last 5 minutes. You know, the slightest drain on a battery. The other thing is with the Bonnevilles, they have built into the ECU, they have a safeguard. It safeguards the starter mechanism. If the battery voltage drops below, I think it's 12.6, don't quote me on, I think it's 12.6 volts, it won't even attempt to start. So anything that drains the battery while I'm not here, as far as I'm concerned, is not needed. So I'm going to get on now, connect that up, and put the bullet connectors on there. They'll be hidden away in here. I'll just whip the side cover off, connect them up, USB will be live, we hope. So I'm going to get on with that now. Right, I've made up my little earth lead. I've changed the ring connector for a female bullet on that end. That will be tucked away down there. We'll just test that we've got continuity to earth. Put that on the earth terminal on the battery. Yeah, I'm not sure you can hear that, but that's definitely an earth. So we'll just pop that off there. Pop the earth lead on there. There we go. Pop that back in there. There's my Allen key, there it is. There we go, just double check the earth. Earth there. Battery negative. Yep, we've got a... So that now can be, when I want to use it, put that up there. Just connect that into there. Job done. I might tidy that up a little bit, but that'll put my mind at rest anyway. Let's put it that way. So that's not going to do any harm just laying there. So now, next thing I'll do, switch that up before I forget. Flatten the battery. I'll now connect the battery live terminal and we'll try it out, see what happens. Oh, I've got to put the pad on there and stick that down, so I'll do that next. So we just had a bit of drama with the Scotch pad. I think it's too cold. I've cleaned it with alcohol and I cleaned that with alcohol, but it's a bit cold and it won't stick. So I'll do that later. I'll warm that up later. But basically, I put my phone in the holder now. I've got my coiled phone connector, so everything's connected up down there now. I've connected the earth cable's connected with the bullets. The positive is on the earth, so positive is on the battery. The cold's getting to me. Plug that in, see what happens. Whoa, we got life. There we are. Oh, what's this? Charging slow due to cold temperature. So anyway, that works. So we'll unplug it now. We'll disconnect my fail-safe device. Plug it back in. Nothing. So no circuit, no drain. Plug it back in again. There we go. Plug it back in. Ta-da! Fixed tricks, job done. So I'll be able to ride now and charge the battery on the phone at the same time, or at least maintain it while I'm using the sat nav. So job done. I'll just put the seat back on, side panels back on, and we'll leave it at that. Again, I'd like to remind you, if you wouldn't mind clicking like and subscribe, assuming you did like it, of course. And I'll see you in the next one.